The deep hum of the intergalactic research station echoed through the cold, metal corridors. Stars glimmered outside the massive windows, distant and silent, as if watching the humans' every move. Among the hundreds of alien researchers and explorers aboard, one human stood out, not because of size or strength, but because of curiosity that refused to die. Liam Dre, a young human cadet, walked briskly through the laboratory halls, his eyes scanning the rows of glowing consoles and floating holographic displays. His fingers brushed against a dusty metal shelf as he passed. Something unusual caught his attention, a small, ancient tablet, unlike anything he had ever seen. Symbols covered its surface. They were jagged, sharp, and completely unfamiliar. Where did this come from? Liam whispered to himself. His heart beat faster. The tablet seemed wrong. It had an aura, a weight that made the air feel colder around it. Across the lab, an alien professor, Vorin, noticed Liam's curiosity. Vorin had 8 glowing eyes, each reflecting the shifting colors of the starfield outside. His tentacle-like arms moved gracefully as he adjusted a hologram of a distant galaxy. Liam, Vorin's voice was calm but firm, that object is not for you. No human has the right to touch it. It is forbidden. Forbidden. Liam repeated, his voice trembling slightly. Why would anyone leave it here if it's forbidden? Vorin's eyes narrowed. Some secrets are dangerous. They should remain buried. That tablet contains the language of a fleet thought extinct. A fleet so powerful, it destroyed worlds. Entire civilizations vanished because of it. Liam's heart skipped a beat. He had read legends about the fleet, but he had always thought they were stories, old myths used to scare cadets into obedience. Now, he held proof in his hands. Ignoring the warning, Liam gently lifted the tablet. Symbols glowed faintly under his touch. It felt alive, as if it recognized him. He couldn't stop himself. He started sketching the symbols on his digital pad, trying to match them with anything he knew. Hours passed. The laboratory grew darker, the distant stars outside casting eerie shadows across the room. Vorin watched silently, his many eyes reflecting both worry and fascination. Be careful, human. The language you are attempting to speak, it is not just words. It is a code. A code for awakening things that should remain asleep. Liam didn't respond. He was lost in the patterns, connecting lines and shapes. Slowly, sounds began to form in his mind, clicks, hums, and tones. When he spoke the first phrase aloud, the air seemed to tremble. The lab lights flickered. A low vibration ran through the metal floor, growing stronger with each word. What is happening? Liam whispered, stepping back. Vorin's tentacles twitched nervously. You have awoken their sensors. The fleet, it can sense the language. They know you are speaking it. And now, it is looking for you. Liam's mind raced. He had always wanted to make history, to prove humans were more than weak, fragile beings. But now, he realized history might be watching him in a very different way. Suddenly, the station's alarms blared. Red lights bathed the corridors as the communication channels lit up with urgent messages. Aliens of all shapes and sizes scrambled, their voices overlapping in fear and confusion. Liam's hands trembled as he clutched the tablet. What do we do? A small alien technician shouted, his voice high-pitched and panicked. Vorin stepped in front of Liam, shielding him. We contain it. Quickly. Before they realize we are here. But it was too late. Across the vast reaches of space, sensors aboard ancient, long-dormant ships began to stir. The fleet, legendary, feared, and believed extinct, was awakening. Thousands of ships, sleek and deadly, moved silently toward the human and alien research station. They did not attack yet, but their presence pressed down like a shadow across the galaxy. Liam felt the weight of his actions. He had wanted to uncover knowledge, to show that humans could rise above myths. Now, he had awakened something that could wipe out worlds. And all it had taken was his voice speaking a few simple words of an alien language long thought dead. Vorin's eyes glowed brighter. This is only the beginning, human. You have stirred something that even we fear. And it is coming for us, and for you. Liam looked at the tablet again. Its symbols pulsed, almost as if mocking him. He swallowed hard, knowing the galaxy outside the windows was no longer safe. Somewhere out there, the deadliest fleet in history had sensed him. And there was no turning back. The human cadet had discovered the forbidden language. And now, the universe would never be the same again. The intergalactic research station was in chaos. Red lights flashed across the corridors, warning of danger. Aliens ran in every direction, some shouting orders, others trying to escape. At the center of it all, Liam Dre clutched the glowing tablet. His hands were sweaty, and his heart raced. Every instinct screamed that the universe outside was no longer safe. "Liam, step away from the tablet," Vorin shouted, moving with surprising speed for his 8-legged frame. "You do not understand what you have done." I just wanted to decode it," Liam stammered. I didn't know it could do this." Vorin's glowing eyes scanned the station. Holographic screens displayed distant star systems. Small blinking dots represented ships, moving rapidly toward them. "You have triggered the awakening," Vorin said grimly. "That fleet, it was thought destroyed centuries ago. Entire civilizations fell to it. Now it knows we are here. And it knows a human is speaking its language." Liam felt a chill creep down his spine. He had studied the legends, ships so fast, so powerful, they could wipe out planets in hours. He had always imagined them as stories, fairy tales to scare cadets. But now, the blinking dots on the screens told him it was real. Terrifyingly real. The station's communications panel crackled. A distant voice echoed across the room in a strange, static-filled tone. Liam leaned closer. It was the first message from the fleet, fragmented but clear enough to chill him to the bone. "Human, translator, must speak." "What is that?" Liam whispered. Vorin's tentacles twitched nervously. "It is them. The fleet recognizes your voice. They are not attacking yet, but they are scanning. Every word you spoke is a signal. And now, they know a human exists who can speak their language." Liam's mind raced. Could he undo it? Could he make the fleet forget? The answer seemed impossible. The fleet had awakened, and nothing in the galaxy could stop it, not even the most advanced weapons. Across the station, alarms rang louder. The other species aboard began panicking, blaming humans for the danger. "It's your fault," one alien shouted at Liam. "You brought them back." Liam froze. He had wanted to help humanity prove its worth. Instead, he had drawn the deadliest fleet in history straight to them. Vorin placed a glowing hand on Liam's shoulder. "Listen carefully. You must understand, the fleet does not destroy everything immediately. They are calculating, watching, and listening. Your words can stop them, or make everything worse." Suddenly, the station's main screen lit up. A massive holographic image appeared. Thousands of ships stretched across space, sleek, metallic, and deadly. Their weapons glowed faintly, like stars ready to explode. The fleet was enormous, larger than any city Liam had ever imagined. It pulsed with energy and intelligence. The legends had not been lies. They're coming here," Liam whispered, eyes wide. Vorin's eyes narrowed. "Not just here. They are searching. They are looking for humans. And they will not rest until they find you." Liam swallowed hard. The weight of responsibility pressed down on him. Every life on the station, every species aboard, now depended on what he would do next. Could one human, speaking an ancient language, survive against an entire fleet? The first alarm blared again, this time indicating fleet scouts entering the system. Tiny ships, invisible to the naked eye, moved faster than light itself, scanning the station. Crew members ran for cover. Liam's hands trembled as he held the tablet closer. It pulsed softly, almost as if sensing his fear. Vorin's voice cut through the chaos. "We need a plan. We must communicate with them. Or, we must hide. You have one chance, human. Only one. Speak carefully." Liam nodded, feeling a mix of fear and determination. He had always wanted to prove humans could be more than weak, fragile creatures. Now, he had no choice. Humanity's fate, and perhaps the fate of every species in the sector, rested on his words. Outside the station, the blinking dots moved faster, forming patterns that sent vibrations through space. Liam realized the fleet was alive, not in the sense of machines, but as a single, thinking, calculating entity. It was aware, intelligent, and patient. Waiting. Watching. The station trembled slightly, and a deep vibration echoed through the metal floors. Liam felt the message in his chest, in his bones. They were close. Too close. "Prepare the communication channels," Vorin ordered. "And Liam, speak carefully. One wrong word, and the fleet will attack. One right word, and perhaps, just perhaps, we survive." Liam took a deep breath, his fingers tightening around the tablet. The stars outside shimmered, distant and indifferent, as the deadliest fleet in history moved silently through space. The human cadet had awoken a force thought lost to legend. And now, the galaxy waited to see what he would do next. The station shook as the first scouts of the fleet scanned the outer corridors. Tiny blips on the holographic display moved faster than the eye could follow. The red warning lights flickered, casting long shadows that danced across the metal walls. Aliens screamed and ran, panic echoing through the labyrinthine halls. Liam Dre stood frozen for a moment, holding the glowing tablet close to his chest. He had never felt such weight before, not of books, medals, or responsibility. This weight was different. It pressed on his mind, his heart, and his soul. Every decision could mean life or death. Vorin approached, his many glowing eyes scanning the station's control panels. "We don't have much time," he said. His voice was calm, but every cadet aboard knew calm was rare from the professor. "The fleet is searching for you specifically. If they find your signature, there will be no warning, only destruction." Liam's throat went dry. "So, what do we do?" he asked. Vorin's tentacles moved over the console, activating maps and star charts. "We escape," he said simply. "There is a small human colony nearby. If we can reach it before the fleet fully awakens, we may survive. But the path is not safe. There are traps left by older species, and rival explorers who will not help us." The cadet nodded, determination replacing fear. He had wanted to prove humans could rise above legends, and now he had a chance, though the risk was unimaginable. The escape plan was simple but dangerous. A small shuttle, equipped for stealth travel, could take a human team past the fleet sensors. Liam, Vorin, and a few trusted allies would make the journey. The rest of the station would have to remain behind, hidden or evacuated in other ways. As they moved toward the shuttle bay, alarms blared louder. Drones, sleek, black, and silent, floated past the windows, scanning the corridors. One stopped near a group of panicked aliens, firing a warning pulse that made everyone freeze in place. Liam felt the pulse in his chest, a cold vibration that warned him the fleet could reach them in minutes. Inside the shuttle bay, the team prepared the small vessel. Liam placed the tablet carefully in a secure container, its symbols pulsing as if alive. He glanced at Vorin. "Will it be safe?" he asked. "For now," Vorin said. "But the fleet senses it. The moment we speak the forbidden language again, it will know our exact location. We cannot make mistakes." The team boarded the shuttle, and the engines hummed to life. Liam watched the station shrink behind them, a floating city of lights now under the watch of a sleeping giant. The fleet was close, moving like shadows across the galaxy, and every second counted. Suddenly, the shuttle's communicator crackled. Human, translator. The voice was mechanical, cold, yet intelligent. Liam shivered. The fleet had found them, or at least its scouts had. "Steady," Vorin said. "They are testing you. Do not panic. Follow the flight path exactly." Liam gripped the controls, sweat dripping down his forehead. Every blink of the dashboard, every flicker of the stars outside, reminded him of the danger. One wrong move, one accidental sound of the forbidden language, and the fleet could annihilate them before they reached safety. The shuttle moved past asteroid fields, weaving between massive chunks of rock that could crush them in seconds. Liam's hands shook as he followed the holographic map. Every sensor pulse made him flinch, every shadow outside the window felt like it belonged to the fleet. Halfway through the escape route, the shuttle's alert system beeped frantically. Another scout had appeared, faster than the first. Its sensors swept across the shuttle like a searching eye, scanning for life signs, for the human signal. Liam held his breath, holding the shuttle perfectly still. The scout hovered for a long moment, then, as if deciding not to attack yet, moved on. Vorin exhaled slowly. "That was close," he said, his tentacles twitching nervously. "Too close. They are learning. They are adapting." Liam realized that this was not just a chase, it was a test. The fleet was intelligent, calculating. It did not rush, it did not attack blindly. Every move he made, every decision, was being observed. Finally, after what felt like hours, the shuttle approached the edge of the system. The stars opened up into empty space, and the distant lights of a human colony twinkled like a promise. Liam felt hope rise in his chest, but it was quickly replaced by fear. The fleet was still out there, waiting, watching, and it would not forgive mistakes. Vorin placed a hand on Liam's shoulder. "We are not safe yet," he said. But this is the first step. The fleet will not attack immediately. They are waiting, and they are calculating. Your next move, human, will decide everything. Liam looked out at the stars, the small colony ahead, and the vast emptiness beyond. His hands tightened around the controls. He had survived the first test, but the real challenge was only beginning. The deadliest fleet in history was awake, and it would not rest until it had spoken to the human who dared to awaken it. The shuttle trembled as it exited the last asteroid field. Stars stretched into streaks outside the windows, and the small human colony ahead glimmered like a fragile jewel. For a brief moment, Liam Dre allowed himself to hope. Perhaps they had survived the worst. Perhaps the fleet would remain distant, observing from afar. But hope is dangerous. Without warning, the vast emptiness of space shimmered, and thousands of ships emerged from the darkness. They were enormous, sleek, and unlike anything Liam had ever imagined. Their hulls glowed faintly, lines of energy running along every surface. Weapons bristled across every deck. The deadliest fleet in history had arrived. "Hold steady," Vorin ordered, his multiple eyes narrowing as he scanned the formation. "This is no longer a test. They are fully aware of our presence." The fleet moved silently, surrounding the shuttle as if it were a tiny insect trapped in a web. Liam felt the shuttle's metal frame vibrate under the unseen pressure. His fingers tightened on the controls, knuckles white. Every instinct screamed to turn back, but there was no turning back. A deep, resonating hum filled the cabin. Liam's ears hurt as if the fleet's presence itself was a sound, a voice, calling to him. Then the communication panel crackled. The same mechanical, cold voice spoke, but now the words were clear, directed at him. "Human translator, you have awakened us. Speak." Liam swallowed hard. His heart pounded. The tablet in its secure case pulsed as if sensing the fleet's command. He realized they wanted him, not just as a threat, but as a speaker, as a messenger. "Me," Liam whispered. They want me." Vorin's tentacles twitched. "Yes. And this is the moment of truth. Speak correctly, or the fleet will decide to destroy. Misstep, and everything we have worked for ends here." Liam took a deep breath. He had been preparing for this moment for hours, decoding, practicing, and learning. The forbidden language flowed from him, careful and measured. Symbols of sound, clicks, and tones. The shuttle's interior vibrated with energy as the fleet responded, not with weapons fire, but with movement, like living ships breathing in unison. For a moment, time seemed to stop. The fleet did not attack. It circled, scanning, learning. Liam realized they were intelligent, capable of understanding beyond weapons or destruction. Every word he spoke made the ships tilt, shimmer, and pulse. "Steady, Liam," Vorin whispered. "They are listening, and judging." Suddenly, a pulse of energy shot through space. One of the fleet's ships opened a massive energy conduit toward a nearby star. It wasn't an attack, it was a demonstration of power. Liam's stomach turned. The fleet could destroy entire planets in moments. They were showing him exactly what humanity faced. But there was a pause, a hesitation in their formation. The fleet was not mindless. They were waiting for a response. And that response came from Liam. He continued speaking, translating phrases from the ancient tablet into his voice. The fleet tilted and shifted. Energy flares pulsed across their hulls like hearts beating. Liam began to understand. The fleet respected intelligence. They were not mere machines. They were a living memory of the galaxy's deadliest civilizations. "Liam, stop," Vorin warned softly. "Do not push further without knowing their reaction. One wrong phrase." But Liam could not stop. He had seen fear in the colony below, hope in the crew around him, and determination in himself. Every word was a bridge, a connection, a chance to survive. A moment later, the fleet paused completely. For what felt like eternity, not a single ship moved. Liam's voice trembled, but he spoke on. And then, slowly, the ships began to shift, moving slightly outward, creating space around the shuttle. Vorin's eyes glowed with a mix of relief and astonishment. They are listening. They are giving you space. You have survived the first confrontation." Liam sank into his seat, exhausted. He had faced the deadliest fleet in history and lived to tell it. But he knew this was only the beginning. The fleet had awakened fully now. It was intelligent, patient, and aware. It had seen humanity's courage, and now it was calculating its next move. The colony below blinked in the distance. Safe for now, yes, but vulnerable. Liam understood that the fleet's respect was conditional. One wrong word, one misstep, and the shadow of destruction would fall. He looked at the tablet, its symbols glowing faintly. The fleet had been awakened by a human voice, and humanity had survived the first test. But survival was not victory. That was a lesson Liam would never forget. Outside the shuttle windows, the deadliest fleet in history hovered silently, like a storm waiting to strike. And Liam Dre, human cadet and translator, was the key that could calm it, or trigger it. The stars outside the shuttle stretched into lines as Liam Dre's fingers flew over the controls. The small human colony ahead was a fragile dot in the darkness, glowing faintly like a beacon of hope. But hope was thin, fragile, and easily shattered. The deadliest fleet in history was awake, intelligent, and watching. Every second counted. "Liam, we need to move faster," Vorin hissed, his tentacles dancing across the control panels. "The fleet has split its forces. Scouts are ahead, behind, and to the sides. They are predicting our every move." Liam's heart pounded. He had never felt such pressure. Every decision he made could save lives, or destroy them. "I know," he said, voice tight. "But we can't rush blindly. One wrong move, and they'll know we're human." The shuttle weaved between floating debris and dying satellites, each moment a test of skill and nerve. Outside, shadows flitted, signals from fleet scouts scanning for the human signature. Liam held his breath with every pulse of light that passed across the cockpit. "Listen," Vorin said, pointing at the holographic display. "Those dots, those are scout ships. They can detect life, energy, even the faintest trace of communication. If they find the colony first," his voice trailed off, but the meaning was clear, total annihilation. Liam nodded grimly. The fate of the colony, the lives of thousands, rested on him. The tablet in the shuttle's secure case pulsed faintly, almost as if urging him forward. He felt a strange connection, as though it was guiding him. Suddenly, a new signal appeared on the screen. It was a faster, more advanced scout ship, moving directly toward the colony. Liam's stomach turned. The fleet had learned their route. If they reached the colony first, there would be no warning, no chance to speak or negotiate. "Prepare for emergency maneuvers," Vorin ordered. "We have one chance to intercept or distract the scout. Make it count." Liam's fingers danced over the controls, weaving the shuttle through tight clusters of debris and using every asteroid and broken satellite as cover. The scout followed, relentless, its sensors glowing like watchful eyes. Liam felt the shuttle shudder as energy pulses passed by, narrowly missing them. Minutes felt like hours. Outside, the colony's lights twinkled, fragile against the vast darkness. Liam pushed the shuttle to its limits, heart pounding, sweat dripping down his face. One wrong calculation could send them crashing into a dead planet or an asteroid. Vorin leaned over, guiding him. "Now, divert to the left. Use the gravity of that dead moon to shield our energy signature." Liam twisted the shuttle, narrowly avoiding the scout's detection beam. The ship trembled violently, then stabilized. They had bought precious minutes. But the fleet was not fooled for long. From the distance, more ships emerged, faster, larger, and more terrifying than before. Liam realized the fleet was converging, circling them, herding them like prey. The colony's fate was hanging by a thread. Liam's mind raced. He remembered the tablet. The fleet had been awakened by the human language, yes, but they were intelligent. They were observing, calculating. If he could send the right signal, the fleet might hesitate, might even listen. "Vorin, I can try," Liam said, determination replacing fear. "I can send a message in the language. Maybe I can buy more time for the colony." Vorin's eyes glowed, wary but approving. "Be careful. One mistake, and they will strike. But this is our only chance. Do it." Liam took a deep breath. He opened the shuttle's communication panel and spoke carefully, forming the forbidden words. The energy in the shuttle shifted as if the fleet recognized the sound immediately. The scouts slowed, hovering, their weapons silent. Liam felt a shiver run down his spine. The fleet was listening. But it wasn't enough. Larger ships were approaching fast. Liam realized that speed alone would not save the colony. They needed strategy, courage, and quick thinking. He plotted a new course, weaving the shuttle between asteroids, using debris fields and radiation clouds to hide their trail. Minutes later, they were close enough to the colony to see its protective shields flickering weakly. The fleet's influence was reaching them. Liam pushed the shuttle's engines harder than ever before, sweat stinging his eyes. Every second was critical. Finally, they breached the outer shields. Liam felt a surge of hope. The fleet paused at the edge of the colony's system, as though assessing the human skill and intelligence. The colony's population would survive, if Liam could maintain this delicate balance. Vorin placed a glowing hand on Liam's shoulder. "You have done well, human. The fleet is calculating. They respect courage and intelligence. But this is not over. The race against time is only beginning. One wrong move, and everything could end." Liam nodded, staring out at the fleet hovering silently, like a storm ready to strike. He understood now. The colony was safe for the moment, but the fleet's attention would not leave them. Humanity had survived another challenge, but survival was only the beginning. The tablet pulsed faintly, as if reminding him that the next steps were more dangerous than anything yet. Liam knew the fleet's patience was finite, and the next words he spoke could determine the fate of an entire species. The shuttle hovered just outside the human colony, stars stretching into streaks across the blackness of space. Liam Drey's heart pounded in his chest. The fleet loomed beyond the system, vast and silent, its ships moving with perfect precision. Every pulse of light, every hum, told him they were watching, calculating, and judging. "Liam," Vorin said, his glowing eyes focused on the fleet. "This is it. The final part. You must speak the last phrases from the tablet. One wrong word, one misstep, and all of this," he gestured at the colony below, "could be destroyed." Liam swallowed hard. The weight of the universe pressed down on him. He had already survived impossible danger, decoding a forbidden language, escaping fleet scouts, and navigating a deadly shuttle chase. But now, the stakes were higher than ever. The fleet was fully awake, fully aware, and waiting. He opened the tablet's secure case and looked at the glowing symbols one last time. They pulsed softly, like a heartbeat. Liam's mind raced, translating each symbol into sounds, clicks, and tones. Carefully, he began to speak. At first, nothing happened. The fleet hovered silently, ships like giant shadows against the distant stars. Liam's voice trembled, but he continued, focusing on every syllable, every sound. Then, a pulse of energy ran through the system. The fleet responded, not with weapons fire, but with movement. Ships tilted, energy flares glowed, and patterns formed in the void. Liam realized the fleet understood him. They were listening, reacting to each word. Vorin leaned close, whispering, "They are intelligent, Liam. Not mindless machines. They recognize understanding, reasoning, and respect." Liam's pulse quickened. The fleet's movements were deliberate, almost like a conversation in light and motion. The human colony below remained safe, protected by the fleet's calculated distance. Liam continued speaking, carefully translating the last phrases of the tablet. Outside the shuttle, the fleet pulsed in waves. Energy ran along their hulls, glowing brighter with each correct phrase. Liam understood then, the fleet did not want mindless obedience. They were testing intelligence, patience, and courage. Humanity was being measured. A sudden tremor shook the shuttle. Liam's hands flew over the controls as a scout ship approached, scanning for life signs. Liam froze, holding his breath. He spoke a soft phrase, careful, precise. The scout paused, then retreated. Vorin's glowing eyes widened. "You are succeeding. They are responding to reason, not fear." Liam felt a spark of hope. The fleet was not attacking. They were observing, learning, judging. Each word he spoke built a bridge between humanity and the deadliest force in the galaxy. But the fleet was still patient. A single misstep, a single wrong sound, and everything could collapse. Liam's hands shook as he finished the final phrase, translating the meaning as carefully as possible. He felt the weight of countless lives on his shoulders. Then, slowly, the fleet shifted. Ships moved outward, forming a protective circle around the colony. The pattern was deliberate, intelligent. Liam understood, they were acknowledging humans. Respecting them. Vorin exhaled, his tentacles relaxing. They are giving you space. Respect. For the first time in centuries, they have not attacked. Humanity has survived the final test. Liam sank into his seat, exhausted but elated. The deadliest fleet in history had recognized human intelligence and courage. They had listened, judged, and chosen restraint. Outside the windows, the fleet hovered silently, enormous and beautiful, a living memory of galactic destruction. Liam realized this was only the beginning. The fleet's attention would remain, but now humanity had earned a chance, not as prey, but as a species to be reckoned with. The human colony below twinkled softly, protected, alive. Liam looked at the stars beyond and felt a strange sense of pride. They had faced legends, myths, and nightmares, and survived. Humanity was no longer fragile, weak, or forgotten. Vorin placed a glowing hand on Liam's shoulder. You have done more than survive, human. You have spoken to the past, challenged the galaxy's deadliest force, and proven that intelligence and courage can shape destiny. Remember this moment. Liam nodded, eyes fixed on the fleet. He knew this would be a story told for centuries. A human had awakened the deadliest fleet in history, and had survived to speak, to reason, to protect. The tablet pulsed softly, its glow fading as if satisfied. The fleet moved slowly, almost reverently, away from the colony. Liam knew they were still watching, still aware, but they had chosen to respect humanity. For now, the galaxy was safe. But the memory of this encounter would linger in stars, in legends, and in human hearts forever. Liam leaned back, exhausted but proud. The fleet was awake, but humanity had not only survived, it had been recognized. And somewhere, deep in the silence of space, Liam knew that other challenges awaited. Ancient fleets, long thought lost, might still exist. But humanity had proven it could face them. The stars outside glimmered silently. Liam closed his eyes, the weight of the galaxy on his shoulders. He had spoken, and for the first time in centuries, the deadliest fleet in history had listened. The human colony glimmered like a small jewel in the vast darkness of space. For the first time in hours, Liam Dre allowed himself a breath. The fleet, the deadliest in galactic history, hovered silently beyond the system, enormous and watchful. Yet it did not attack. Not yet. Liam knew this peace was fragile. One wrong move, and everything could end. Vorin's glowing eyes scanned the fleet. They are intelligent, he said softly. They respect strength, wisdom, and courage. But respect is not peace. We must prove ourselves worthy. Liam nodded. The tablet lay safely in the shuttle's container, its symbols dim now but still alive with memory. He understood that the fleet had listened, but it had not forgotten. Humanity's next action would decide everything: survival, alliance, or annihilation. The colony's population looked to the shuttle with hope. Families clutched each other. Scientists, explorers, and engineers stood ready to follow Liam's lead. The weight of responsibility pressed on him. He had already spoken the forbidden language, survived the fleet's judgment, and protected the colony, but now humanity itself must stand. Liam took a deep breath and opened the shuttle's communication panel. Carefully, he began to speak again, translating both human words and the ancient alien language. His voice was calm but firm. Every syllable was chosen to show intelligence, courage, and willingness to communicate. The fleet pulsed in response, enormous ships shifting slightly, flares of energy running along their hulls. Liam felt the immense presence of millions of tons of technology and power, yet somehow, there was understanding. The fleet was not just observing, they were judging, considering, and perhaps, listening. Vorin's tentacles moved over the controls. Do not falter, human. They are weighing every word, every gesture. Humanity must show unity, not fear. Liam nodded and raised his voice. We do not wish to fight you, he said. We wish to survive. We wish to learn. And we are ready to prove ourselves worthy of your respect. The fleet pulsed brighter. One massive ship, larger than any city, tilted as though acknowledging his words. Small drones descended, scanning the colony and the shuttle, but without aggression. Liam realized the fleet was testing, not attacking. The deadliest force in history could destroy worlds, but now it was assessing humanity. The cadet continued speaking, weaving human ideas with the ancient language. He spoke of courage, intelligence, and the will to survive. He spoke of curiosity, honor, and the right to exist in the galaxy alongside others. The fleet listened. And slowly, deliberately, it began to retreat. Vorin exhaled, his many eyes glowing softly. They are retreating, not in fear, but in respect. You have proven the value of human intelligence. Liam's heart pounded with relief. The fleet moved slowly out of the system, still watching, still aware, but not threatening. The colony below remained safe, alive, and intact. Humanity had survived. But survival was only the beginning. Liam understood that the galaxy had changed forever. Humans had faced a force thought lost to legend, and had not only survived, they had been acknowledged. Across the stars, other species would soon hear of this. Humans had proven they could rise above myths, legends, and fear itself. The colony's people cheered softly, understanding but wary. Liam stepped out of the shuttle and looked at the stars. Somewhere beyond, the fleet waited, intelligent, patient, and aware. But humanity had earned a chance. A future. A place among the stars. Vorin placed a hand on Liam's shoulder. You have done more than survive, human. You have spoken to the past, faced the deadliest fleet, and stood for humanity. Remember this moment. Liam nodded, exhausted but proud. He had awakened the fleet, communicated with it, and survived the impossible. Humanity had stood tall, not with weapons or fire, but with intelligence, courage, and understanding. The tablet pulsed faintly one last time, as if satisfied. Liam knew the knowledge it contained would be key to future challenges. The fleet's presence remained in the galaxy, a reminder of power, intelligence, and judgment. But for now, humanity had proven itself capable of surviving the unthinkable. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly. Liam's eyes scanned the horizon, thinking of the fleets that might still lie dormant, ancient civilizations waiting in the dark, watching. Humanity had survived this test, but the galaxy was vast, full of mysteries, and full of danger. Liam Dre, human cadet and translator, had done the impossible. He had spoken the forbidden language, faced the deadliest fleet, and led humanity to survival. For now, the galaxy was safe, but the story of human courage, intelligence, and perseverance had only just begun. And somewhere in the void, the fleet remembered. The shuttle floated gently above the human colony, the stars stretching endlessly across the blackness of space. Liam Dre leaned back in his seat, exhaustion pressing on him like a weight, yet a sense of calm settled over him. The deadliest fleet in history had been awakened, confronted, and, against all odds, had chosen respect over destruction. Humanity had survived. Vorin's tentacles moved slowly over the controls, his many glowing eyes reflecting relief. You have done something incredible, human, he said softly. You have spoken to the past, challenged the legends, and survived. Few beings in the galaxy could have done this. Liam let out a long breath, staring at the glowing tablet in its container. It pulsed faintly, as if remembering the moment, recording the human cadet who dared to awaken and reason with the deadliest fleet ever known. We survived, Liam whispered. But, will they ever leave us alone? Vorin nodded. Perhaps not. But they will respect you now. And respect is the first step toward understanding. The fleet is intelligent, patient, and aware. They will not strike without cause. Humanity has earned a place in the galaxy. The colony below slowly came to life. Survivors emerged from shelters, engineers checked systems, and families reunited. News spread quickly. A human had faced the ancient fleet, communicated with it, and survived. Humanity's reputation, long considered fragile and weak among other species, had changed forever. Outside the colony, the fleet lingered at the edge of the system. Liam watched their distant, gleaming forms, a silent reminder of power, intelligence, and history. The ships were no longer a threat, they were observers. A challenge to be met with courage and wisdom. Liam understood then that the galaxy was full of ancient secrets, waiting for those brave enough to face them. In the days that followed, Liam worked tirelessly with Vorin and the colony's leaders. The tablet was studied carefully, its symbols recorded, and its language slowly decoded. Knowledge of the fleet, its origins, and its technology became humanity's greatest asset. What had begun as fear and chaos now became opportunity. Yet, Liam knew the galaxy held more than just this fleet. There were other civilizations, ancient and forgotten, lurking in the dark reaches of space. Humanity had survived the impossible this time, but the future would test them again. Every word spoken, every decision made, could shape the destiny of countless worlds. One evening, as the twin suns of the colony set in golden light, Liam stepped outside the shuttle bay. Children played nearby, laughing, unaware of how close their world had come to destruction. Engineers and scientists repaired the damaged structures, planning for expansion and exploration. The weight of responsibility remained, but hope had returned. Vorin joined him, his glowing eyes softening. Humanity has a long journey ahead, he said. You have proven your species has courage, intelligence, and resilience. But remember, the galaxy is vast. Danger is everywhere. Knowledge and wisdom will be your greatest weapons. Liam nodded. We'll be ready. We have to be. His eyes scanned the horizon, where the fleet lingered as a silent guardian of sorts, a reminder of the past and the power of understanding. The galaxy will know we are here. And they will know humans are not weak. As night fell, Liam returned to the shuttle, the tablet resting safely in its container. It pulsed one last time, as if acknowledging him. The deadliest fleet in history had been reasoned with, survived, and understood humanity's courage. A story that would be told for generations had been written, not in blood, but in intelligence, bravery, and perseverance. Liam looked at the stars above, endless and full of mysteries. Humanity had survived the impossible. They had faced legends and emerged stronger. The galaxy was vast, dangerous, and unknown, but now humanity had a place, a voice, and a legacy. And somewhere, far beyond the edge of the system, the fleet watched silently, remembering the human who spoke the forbidden language and changed the course of history. The universe was no longer indifferent. Humanity had arrived. The stars shimmered quietly, the galaxy waiting, full of challenges, discoveries, and adventures yet to come.